sanding and filling in and sanding and filling in and sanding. It is day 2. Yesterday was Christmas Day and my sister was here. We basically took apart the bedside tables, cleaned everything off, gave everything a scuff sand, and we got to the wood filler. Now, when I first started furniture flipping a matter of a week ago, I really thought that the first thing that would be hard to learn would be either the sanding or the painting. It's not. It turns out it's the wood filler and a little bit the sanding. So when I did the wood filler for the puzzle table, I didn't put enough on. So this time I thought, great, well, I'll just go ham and start shoving it in there. So now there's too much and I couldn't sand it off. I wrecked 2 different sanding blocks last night. They were mediums. They are completely wrecked. So I went to Bunnings this morning and got 2 coarse ones and a paint scraper because Reddit told me that that's how to get the extra off. But let me show you what's happened. This crack was perfectly filled last night and I'd sanded it back and it was looking amazing. And I've worked all day today. This is the first time I've got to come out to the garage and have a look. And it's basically split through the wood filler. So it looks like I'm going to have to refill it and then do it again. So if anyone wants to tell me how that's happened, that would be fantastic. Anyway, I've got about an hour to work on these tonight. So I'm basically just going to go in with my sanding, sand back all of this because it's now doing absolutely nothing. It's not actually filling any of the cracks. And I guess I'll start again. I really wish that I had more footage so that I could use before and afters. But I don't have a fancy camera yet. I'm just using my iPhone and I was waiting on an SSD hard drive to arrive from Amazon. And so I couldn't save a lot of footage. I kept running out of storage. So this is all you're getting, besties. Okay, so now that I've actually scraped that off and had a look at it, there's actually quite a bit that has filled in properly. The thinner bits have filled in properly. Wherever the gap is ever so slightly, like 1 mil thicker or wider, it hasn't filled it, but some of it has worked. So I think what I'm going to do is just go through and do this and the sanding to both cabinets, the drawers and the doors, and then redo any bits after that so that I'm not sort of backtracking and I only have to make 1 lot of wood putty. Honestly, the amount of time and effort and sanding blocks that I saved by having this scraper that Reddit suggested to me was amazing. Everything just came off so easily, and once I got the hang of it, I wasn't damaging any of the good paint or any of the wood. I wasn't putting any dints in or anything. It was just so easy to use, and I much prefer it to just, sanding everything off. Okay, so this is what I don't understand, because this one had a crack basically the same as this one, and I filled them the same. I've sanded them back the same. This one has, like I said, seems like it's split open, and this one has filled in perfectly. Once that's painted, you won't be able to see the scratch, so, Hey besties, so it's like day 3 of working on this technically. I didn't do any work on it yesterday because we had people over all day, and then some stayed the night. We had breakfast this morning, then I've basically worked and cleaned up after people all day. So I now have an hour before bedtime, which is my usual DIY time every day. So I'm going to see if I can finish sanding down the wood filler on the second bedside table, the drawers and the doors. And before I start doing that, I'm going to get some more wood filler and redo the crack that we talked about opening up in this one so that it can dry, and it takes about half an hour before I get the putty knife and smush it in there a bit better as it's drying. I'll do that. That can be a setting while I'm doing the other stuff. So let's see if I can make any more mistakes tonight. Okay, today's the day. I finally get to finish prep and start painting, so let's see if I actually have finally learned how to use wood putty properly. It's actually worked. We've done so well. So remember how that was basically a crevice in the earth? It's now filled in, and it doesn't really look like it on camera, but it is definitely perfectly flat. I'm McLovin' it. Now, I am apparently not very good at filling in anything that is on a side because there is still tiny divots in there, but I've tried it like 3 times now, and I'm hoping it's not too noticeable. I think that's just beyond my wheelhouse in my beginner stage of my life, but I'm so glad that we've got this really big noticeable crack filled in. So I've now completely finished sanding and filling in and sanding and filling in and sanding 3 eternities later. But I forgot that we are actually not done with the prep. I lied. Please unsubscribe because I can't be trusted. I have to wash them again. So I'm going to go ahead and just get some warm water and a cloth. I'll clean them all up. I'll make sure that there are no remnants of sand left on it, sanding stuff, and I'm probably going to have to get the shop vac and vacuum the floor because there is simply stuff everywhere, and after that then we can start painting. Simply can't tell you how long this took. It was crazy how long it took to tape everything, and it was frustrating to tape things not knowing if my idea that I had for the drawers would even work out. I kept stepping back and looking at them and thinking it's just going to look stupid. I should just paint the entire thing green, but I'm really glad with how it turned out in the end. Okay, so I've finished taping everything that's going to be painted the green colour that I've got going, and I'm going to try to do something fun on the drawer fronts, so pray for me. I've gotten my sealer and undercoat ready, got my roller, got the tray with foil in it because I hate cleanup, and I literally just got cardboard cups to put the doors up off the ground, and then I'll flip them over once I've done the one side. But I don't think I'm going to get much done right now because we are going to go and see a movie. So I don't think there's much point putting anything in the tray and running out of time. So I'll probably just leave it as is for now, and then at least I'm ready to get started as soon as we get back. After this project, I've really kind of sworn my allegiance to foam brushes. I find that paint brushes just give a really bad finish. It's hard to get into the corners. One day I'll get a sprayer, but today is not that day. But the foam brushes are just great. They take a little bit longer to paint with, and it's kind of hard to get enough on the brush to not have to refill the brush too many times, if that makes sense. But I just love using foam brushes now. I think that it goes on nicer, it gives a nicer finish, and they're just really, really easy to use. So definitely a tip if you're struggling with paint brushes. I say like I'm an expert furniture flipper that's been flipping for 10 years. I don't know, don't come for me. I like foam paint brushes. The priming is finally finished. It's taken 2 days of working around work, and it is finally finished. So all of the prep is done, and we can finally start painting the actual colour tonight if I have time around work. But I'm so excited that the priming is done because I had to do so many coats and I was so sick of it. The doors are done. The doors are completely painted. They've got 3 coats on each side. I think it's a beautiful colour, and I can't believe how long it took. I've been working on this like 45 minutes to an hour at night because that's the only time that I've had. Today was my day off, but we went visiting some family, so I've only had a couple of hours today to work on it. And it's just this project is taking so long, which is fine. I'm not in a hurry for any particular reason. I just want to see what it looks like at the end. It's a 37-degree day today, but I had to work on it because I just needed to see some progress. Let me know what you think of the colour. This was a mist tint. It was $50 for one of those big, can't tell you how many litres. I think they're 4 litres, the big tins. But let me know in the comments if you like this colour. I don't know what it was meant to be. I wish they told you what colour they were going for when they did the mist tint so that I could go over to the swatches and have a look and see how different it was and maybe get inspiration for what to pick for future projects when I do like the mist tint colour. But I love this. When I first opened the tin, it was really hard to see how it would look eventually. It was a bit of a funny colour and it looked a lot darker, almost with a charcoaly undertone in the tin. But once I started to get it on the the bedside tables, I loved it. I would actually put this colour in my house. It's a really beautiful colour, and I feel like it's a shame how so many mist tints are just so pretty, but they're mist tints, so you can't exactly go back and say, hi, please give me this again. Do you like my boots? I got new denim boots. They were very cheap, but I like them. I think they're so cute. They're so different to just your normal safety boots or hiking boots. Anyway, yes, let me know if you like the colour, if you've used anything like that yourself on any projects. And again, this took weeks. I worked on this for almost a month actually. Obviously, I don't have a heap of time to work on it, but it was a long one. Like I mentioned earlier on, I had to delete a bunch of the early stuff so I had storage to keep filming, but this is the before. And here are the afters. These are obviously not perfect pieces, but I love how they turned out. I'm proud of my hard work and perseverance on them. Can't wait to see what I get into next. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and if you want to see another furniture flip of the puzzle table I did, I'll link it down below. Thanks for watching. Love you besties. Bye.